How you doing, everybody? This is Rock here. Okay, let's talk about financial success. What is financial success to you? Well, guess what I have? I have a Warren Buffett 10 rules for financial success. And as I read it, I said, oh, pretty much what I think. But I'm just a regular blue-collar guy that became financial independent. Okay? The hard way. The hard way is you got to earn it. Okay? Because there's big decisions, man. And this is my 50th year of business. I started at 21. I am now 71. But I would consider myself financially independent. And I'm going to share it with you about the Warren Buffett strategy and the LaManna strategy. So here we go. 10 rules for financial success by Warren Buffett. Number 1, budget. Okay, you budget. What's incoming, what's outgoing. I've had 8 different businesses, so I know what a budget is. I've also had a budget for my family, right? Because I had 3 children. Been divorced twice, 3 children. I had to budget alimony, child support, education, sports, everything. I had 2 households for 25 years of my life because I've been married twice. Okay, so budget. How many people budget? Not many. I'll tell you that right now. People are always wondering about income, but they're not thinking about, well, hold it here. What's my fixed cost? What's my budget? How much do I have, etc., etc.? But I'll keep going here, okay? Number 2, he says, buy assets. Okay. What's that mean? You buy assets, a home, stock, investments that are going to grow. That's what that is, all right? Is buying assets, increase in value. And it's not quick. None of this is quick. This guy is almost 100 years old. You think he did it all at once? No. But he'll tell you he started early, okay? And so on. And guess what he had? He had mentors. Number 3 is the one that I really screwed up, man. Number 3, he says, marry right. I married wrong. He's telling you, marry right, all right? Or he's telling us to marry right. Well, I missed the memo. I missed the note. So I call it, make sure you pick the right horse. I have to laugh because one guy said to me one time during a live on YouTube, he goes, and he was from New Zealand, he goes, I picked the right cow. I hope he was a farmer. Okay, number 4, pay off debt. We all know what that is. Pay off debt. Pay off your home. Pay off your car. Pay off your credit cards. All that stuff. And how does that come about? Through a budget. Bottom line is, don't buy anything in a way. You know what I mean? You invest. And I know it's not that easy. For guys that are billionaires, it is. But I'm telling you, I'm just a regular guy, blue collar. I had to wait. I had a 50-year career. I've had ups and downs. I've had good years, bad years, the whole 9 yards. However, I had hope. And I always had goals. Always. Always had goals. And I tried to share those with my kids too. And I just didn't give shit to my kids. I would say, okay, here's what happens. And I would give them a figure. You work this next 3 months. You do this for your grades. You do this for your education. And I'll keep my promises. But you have to earn it. And they did. They did. So I'm very proud of that. Number 5, invest in yourself. Okay, what does that mean? Invest in yourself. Huh? That's education. That's knowledge. It's wisdom. Another thing is I did a lot of networking. I was in sales, so I had to keep going. I had to keep going. And I would circle myself, and you'll hear about Warren Buffett, with mentors. I had great mentors. And they were always 15, 20 years older than me. Most of my mentors, now that I'm 71, they're gone. Passed away. You know? retired, passed away, health issues, don't have their mental capacity. But my father's still there. He's 100 and he's still sharp. So I have that. Avoid lifestyle creep. What does lifestyle creep mean to you? Lifestyle creep is, let's say you have an income of 100,000 and you keep moving up, 125,000, 100 and so on, and it keeps growing. It's creeping up. Well, here's the problem. A lot of people start spending and it creeps up. They have no budget. They just think it's going to last forever. Nothing lasts forever, as my father would say. Not even life. You don't have to buy brands. You don't have to buy a $2,000 suit like I've done in the past. No, you don't. So that's another one. And we all know Warren is very conservative. You know he's still going to McDonald's because he's invested in it. He goes to the drive-thru every day. He picks up what? His McMuffin and a Diet Coke or whatever it is. Look at Trump. Same thing. McDonald's, Diet Coke. You know, these guys. That's the way it is. Number 7, cut unnecessary expenses. What's an unnecessary expense? My brother-in-law will say to my sister, what do you want? What do you need? We only buy what we need, not what we want. Even at the grocery store. Yes. I don't know. I'm not a drinker, so I don't spend thousands on booze, beer, casinos. I work too hard for my money. But I'll drink more than 1 cup of coffee a day. Sometimes I go out, sometimes I make it myself. But you have to look at simplifying your life. And as you get older, you're going to realize, oh my God, I don't need this shit. And that's kind of where I'm at in my life. It's almost like I don't want to own anything anymore. It's just like, you know what? I don't want any overhead costs. Nothing. Okay? So only you could cut your unnecessary expenses. Now, if you're married, good luck. Because many times you're not on the same level when it comes down to expenditures, okay, and lifestyle. All right? Now, do you need a boat? Do you need a motorcycle? Do you need a nice car or a classic car or whatever? You know, some people, and we're just talking about sleeping at night, you know? As you get older, you want to sleep with no issues of financial distress, you know? Number 8 is I don't agree with him. I don't agree with him. He says invest 20% of your income. I don't believe in that. I believe in 25%. The 25% rule. And the 25% could be at the end of the year. It doesn't have to be monthly. So whatever your income is, you know, 25% of what's available you put aside, or in like my case, I was always like a commission guy. You know what I mean? So I was a 1099, so I wasn't paid until I closed the deal. So when you close a deal or you do distributions at the end of the year for my businesses, I'd always take 25% of that and put it in my retirement fund. Okay? And that's what I'd recommend. And I've been doing it since I was 21. Not every year the same, but pretty damn close. Okay? Now, number 9, be with business-minded people. That's the mentorship I was telling you about. And I was very lucky because I was exposed to top leaders in business because I had that position as the face of the company to come in and probably admire these guys and almost idolize a company called 3M because I always thought they did all the right things and there were a lot of opportunities there. And I was so young that these guys were 30 years older than me because they were directors, vice presidents, and so on of a big corporation and global. And that's what I learned how to go global versus just local domestically. Okay. So I would go to networking situations. I'd go to seminars. I would go to motivational speakers. I went back to Harvard Business School. There's a lot of shit, man. Education. Now, I couldn't get enough of it. Today, I'm on YouTube learning this. I'm learning technology. I'm learning YouTube. Audio books. I still listen to audio books. And I revisit books that I was exposed to in the 80s and the 90s because they're still classic. Like The Road Less Traveled or The Millionaire Next Door. Things like that. Or Steve Covey's 7 Habits. Having the end in mind. I always had goals. You see? And I got that from these older people, these wise men and women. Why? Because they would tell me their stories. And Rock, be careful of this. Be careful of that. You see? It was always watch. Watch out. And a lot of it was make sure you pick the right horse and advisors. You can't trust everybody. You see? So networking is huge. And that's why I have in my CRM 80,000 contacts. And how many do I trust? Maybe 20. You know what I'm saying? Because most of the people that I trusted and I grew up with are dead. Yeah. So once you're betrayed in a serious manner, especially in business, because you're talking money, you know, your wallet, your personal wallet. And if it's your kids or your brothers and your sisters or your parents, I've been betrayed by everybody and they might think I betrayed them. So what do? I just move along. And my career changes all the time. I'm on my 8th business, but I'm looking for more activity. You know, once I got into the media and I got into writing books and writing articles for the industry and so on, I'm well connected, but now I want to pass that all on. So number 10, Warren Buffett, 10 rules. Number 10 is create multiple streams of income. Okay, how do you do that? All right, I'm 71 years old, okay? How many streams of business do I have? How many streams? And what you should look at, okay, as you age and grow, because it's the long game. Number 1 is Social Security. I got Social Security, got Medicare. I got freelance work, still as a consultant. I have a business, an LLC. YouTube now is monetized, and TikTok. I have books. I have guides on Amazon. You see what I'm saying? I got multiple investments, stocks, dividends, retirement funds. You see? I never counted them, but I got to have at least 5. But I budget and I live amongst my means. You see? Even at my age. Why? I'm not saying I'm going to run out of money, but I'm saying I started a foundation. I want to give back. I have an estate plan for my family, you see? And Warren Buffett, as you know, Warren Buffett, he's got billions, and what did he say? He gave his 2 or 3 kids so much to invest, go do your own thing, and the rest is going into his foundations and his charities. And now, just this past year, he passed on his chairman of the board position because his partner, Charlie, if you remember Charlie, he passed away at 95. I think it was last year. So, you know, everybody, it all comes to an end. It all comes to an end. So I just wanted to say that I think these are good tips. I've kind of lived this way anyway. And tax advisors are very, very important for this stuff. I just talked to my CPA, my tax advisor today. Why? Because I'm talking about a Roth conversion. I'm talking about retirement and taxes with the new Trump administration tax rules. Okay? So this is basically saying, hey, I agree with Warren. I've kind of lived this roadmap. I know my kids love Warren Buffett's deal. My dad was very conservative, always saving for a rainy day. 11 kids in a family business, always investing. And it's not how much you have, because at the end of the day, it's your health. At the end of the day, it's your health. What can you do? You want to live a good life. I had to start up a fitness program just to say, okay, I need a routine. So I started bowling. I walk a lot. I live in Florida. And so I used to golf a lot, you know. with my clients and so on. But it just seemed boring to me now. I love the game, but, just took up too much time. And bowling's just as strategic and entertaining and fitness. It's got very similar athletic and mindset, how to be a winner, how to improve. And that's a lifelong sport, okay? So I just wanted to come across and say, hey, let's talk about this, and might be healthy. You could comment. I go on live, by the way, Rock LaManna live, and I'm very spontaneous because I just go on and say, okay, what are you talking about? What do you want to talk about? And most people that contact me are blue collar, hardworking breadwinners, married, divorced, whatever it is. The big shots don't come to me because a lot of the big shots think they know it all. And I don't know it all. I constantly learn. And I learn from my community because they ask me. And the younger, the better. Because it's their future, man. I've already played out my career. I've already played out my life. Now I just want to help other people love their one and only life. Okay? So I'm going to check out now. Rock LaManna. Follow me. I'm on TikTok. I'm on LinkedIn for business. I'm on YouTube, of course. And it's evergreen. And a lot of the reasons why I'm on YouTube Live and on camera is because my grandkids someday are going to say, oh, Papa Rock was knowledgeable to pass this on. You see? I got a lot of experience. And now I know I'm going to have a long life. My mother passed away at 94, but healthy. My dad's 100, and he's still going. So I thought, well, I might have another 20 years. I don't want to be bored. And I've heard that term a lot. Oh, Rock, I'm bored. But guess what? You got to find your own happiness. That's the plan. You have to discern. And right now, if you're in your 50s and 60s and you're going through tough times, yeah, you're going to have to change. But you got to save for a rainy day, I'm telling you right now. Otherwise, it's going to be a real big headache because you're not going to be able to sleep at night. All right? And that's one of the goals, to be independent and free. Okay? Warren wasn't completely wrong, but I like my plan. Okay? Except for marry the right horse. Or in New Zealand, make sure you marry the right cow. I'll talk to you soon. God bless.